Hey.
Hey,
Welcome back to another episode of These Crazy People Just Eat Meat. Can't stop talking about it. So I'm Tom. We got Justin, and then we got a
hey.
surprise guest. We got the old pagan opera with us. Decided to jump in and say a few things. So here we are in our Sunday night live stream, a little late, about
But
5 minutes.
we've been later. So there we go. We're doing pretty good today.
Yeah,
And
that
Tom,
makes it
your
better.
your voice sounds so much better. You sound like put together. What was your secret? What did you do to kick that little cold you had last week?
Uh,
Liver pills. I heard that Tom was taking liver pills. It's kind of like a cure all.
right.
Is that true, Tom?
Yeah, sure. Lots of liver pills, lots of testicle pills, lots of sheep brain pills, all that. It's a freeze dried capsule.
Testicles?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So,
And you have to
yeah.
take like 8 a day. That's the thing. A lot of people only take like 3 or 4. No, you have to take 8. 8 of each organ pill. That's
Yikes.
if you're not spending $300 a day on organ pills, you're doing carnivore wrong. That's all I'm saying.
If you're not spending $15,000 on anabolic steroids a month, you're doing something wrong. Oh, man.
Come on, Justin. Everyone knows that our ancestors were taking at least 8 bull testicles a day. That's how they had such good immune systems.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, they wouldn't even eat any of the muscle meat or the fat. It was just pure testicle all day, every day, all the time. Testicle and liver. That's all our ancestors ate. Did not even touch the muscle meat.
Right? Some of them ate thymus gland. Now, come on. And every Sunday they had kidney pie.
There you go.
Of course, if you live in the Southland, every Sunday you have menudo. So,
So, welcome everyone to another Meat Mosaic. Please make sure you hit that like button. Throw a steak on that notification bell. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to us. We do these long form interviews. We used to do short stuff, but life has gotten ahead of me and Tom, and maybe 2023 we will get some good scheduling going and knock out some more things. But hey, we keep the Sunday lives going at least, so we're starting somewhere.
right. Sunday live stream. So it's nice because we get some people who watch, and comment sometimes. I don't know. It's kind of quiet today.
Yeah, it's oddly quiet tonight. Well, it
Don't
is the
know where
first
Marge
night
is.
of December, and a lot of people are dipping into their Advent calendars. Their chocolate Advent calendar.
Is that what's wrong?
Yeah, it's 20 days till Christmas Eve, 21 till Christmas, if you celebrate, I suppose. We do have the pagan on screen, so I don't want to discriminate. So there we go, just in case.
Well, he probably has a Christmas tree because that's a pagan idol.
Justin,
anyway.
you're about to open up a can of worms. I don't know if you're ready for.
Don't get me started on the origins of Santa Claus. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I love talking about that stuff too. So it's real easy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, since you're here, Pagan, you wanna throw in your 2 cents about the whole Liver King dust up?
Yeah. So first off, I didn't even really know who this guy was up until like yesterday/today. I'm not really a big social media guy, and I guess he was popular on like TikTok or something. And obvious, I mean, Chinese spyware on my phone isn't really my thing. So I haven't really seen the guy very much. But like the few pictures I had seen of the guy, it was like, okay, so this is another, standard influencer, and like a standard fitness. What would you call it? Like a social
Fitness
media,
guru.
a fitness guru. Yeah, I wouldn't say guru. I'd say like a fitness influencer, because you don't have to be a guru to make a bunch of money as a fitness guy on social media, or especially like TikTok or Instagram. Really, all you need is a really good body and just a little bit of sales acumen, a little bit of charisma, and from what I can tell, I watched the Joe Rogan interview today with the guy from More Plates, More Dates, the guy who exposed Mr. Liver King.
Are we taking his crown away from him? Is he just Mr.? Are we just referring to him as Mr. Liver now?
He could be the Liver King if he wants. Fine with me. I don't care.
Liver King, Liver Queen, whatever his pronouns are. I watched listened to the interview, and from what I can tell, this is kind of a standard case of it's a very formulaic thing that goes on with these fitness influencers. So basically what you do is you need a really good body, and then the formula is you tell everybody that the way you got this body was because of X product. And you sell X product and you make a killing, and everyone is going to buy it because people really want shortcuts when it comes to losing weight. Most of the time it's losing weight or putting on muscle. People always are going to want shortcuts. And so this industry is just filled with scammers selling this one product that's the secret to their body. And of course, every single time, the people didn't get their body by using X product. They got it by religiously working out, basically making the gym their almost a religion, and steroids. I mean, performance, different various performance enhancing drugs. That's how it is 99% of the time. So when you talk about Liver King was selling like liver pills or whatever it was, desiccated liver, like, I don't even think that's really the important part, because you could have substituted the liver pills with anything. This guy still would have gotten rich on it because his body is amazing. It's a formula.
Well, when you hear all those emails that were read and stuff, this is a business plan, and like you said, it's not uncommon. And
it's a formula.
Sure a lot of people were, anybody spending time around bodybuilding or at the gym was looking at that guy going, there's got to be some Anabar involved here, and then you look at that incredible laundry list of drugs, of GH, human growth hormone and everything else that he was on. It was a tremendous amount.
So us in present company here would obviously take one look at the guy, and no question, he's on a cocktail of drugs. But when you go outside of the fitness community to just totally normie people who really don't know anything about fitness or health or food or lifting or anything, there is a huge amount of the population that might actually believe that to get a body like that, this guy just must work out a lot and eat healthy, not realizing that when we're talking about body fat percentage that is in like the 3%, like 2 to 3 to 4% range, that's literally impossible. It's like, that's not possible to do naturally.
I don't know. I would think the people at Auschwitz might argue with you. Now there's a getting spicy.
Wow.
Man,
Sorry,
Justin,
I get.
you're
Justin has no filter.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, first off, you saw what happened to Kanye, so we don't need to start going into subject matter that is going to get this.
Well, it's part of Justin's disability. So.
He's going to
Yeah.
get canceled, is what's going to happen.
Well, hey, Ye got on Alex Jones. And
It's
he was
yay,
wearing-
not ye.
Is it yay?
Yay.
Ye got on Alex Jones, and he was wearing that mask, and he looked pretty cool for all the teens and for people to vote for him. So I don't know, it might work.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, you want to, I know I give Justin a hard time because he's a supplement junkie, but
Recovering supplement junkie.
I've taken the desiccated liver pills before. I've never felt any different. What do you guys think about that?
I've never tried the pills. I've just eaten liver, and I mean, I don't like cooked liver. Raw liver's all right, but it's just all right, So, and I didn't notice any different either. And I will eat like pate or Brunschweiger. I love Brunschweiger, but and I've tried a bunch of different livers, and beef liver is actually probably my least favorite. Pig liver is a little better, and chicken liver is really bland. And sheep livers kind of depends on where it comes from. I think just the Australian sheep liver I didn't really care for, but some of the domestic stuff, which is hard to get for some reason, tasted a little milder. So anyways, yeah, I just don't really like it. I mean, I would say if you knew you had some sort of vitamin deficiency, like particularly like vitamin A or something like that, go for it. See if liver helps, or I think the stuff in the pills is basically dehydrated or desiccated, flash frozen, freeze dried powder, and maybe it'll help. I don't know. It might be better than other like synthesized forms of vitamins or something like that.
I also take vitamin D. We live in the northern regions where you don't see the sun for many months. And so last year we started taking vitamin D, and I got to be honest, you do feel better. You feel good.
That's good to know, because people routinely report that people are typically low in vitamin D. I mean, it's like a common deficiency or whatever, but then we don't really know exactly what that level should be for the general population, much less an individual. So it's good to know. Was there any particular type of vitamin D you took? Because some sort of D3, I'm guessing.
Yeah, D3, and what was it? 5,000 IU a day. And I don't take it all year long. I just take it during the winter, and I feel in a slightly elevated mood. So I'm not a big supplement guy, but I'm just being honest here. That does seem to work. So
yeah, well, and
take that for what it's worth.
I'm not opposed to people doing an experiment. I love experiments. Even if someone does need activated charcoal to recover from their experiment. But I'm all for people figuring it out. And I mean, trying a vitamin D supplement or a liver supplement or whatever seems to be pretty benign. You don't hear about people getting injured or sick from stuff like that. So I'm all for it. I think most people don't need it. I know some of the crazy people, I think it came up I think the guy more plates, more dates. He mentioned this somewhere in there. Liver King was talking about sunning his testicles, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a thing, but like it barely moves the needle on anything, so
That is a thing. I've never done it myself. I don't plan on doing it. I mean, were our ancestors out there with their gonads in the air, when there's little rodents running around in the field and stuff, like, were they that?
Well, it's one thing to walk around naked, but it's an entirely different thing to actually position yourselves to maximize the
That seems
because that seems like an
unsafe
unnatural thing to do, right?
Hey,
Oh,
how do
I
you
get
think
that.
the what is it called? The sundial got started, all right?
Is that-
That's how they got started.
No filter Justin.
Wow. I guess I never thought of that, Justin.
Well, that's what I'm here for. The thoughts that no one else thinks. That's pretty much my whole shtick. But yeah, basically going back to the organs. So when I was writing my master's thesis, I did take the brain ones. And I feel like the brain ones, again, you can really separate the psychological versus the physical. So it's really hard to tell. But I felt like the brain supplement did have a bit of a nootropic effect, like a bit more focused. So that I felt.
When I first took the SAMe, and I think I got the idea from you and Karina.
Yeah.
I did notice like a little bump in cognitive ability. So there are things that, but I if I took it for every day for a long period of time, and then eventually I didn't notice any difference. So,
well, if we're if we're gonna be technically, I also do use two nootropics, so to speak, that have an effect on focus, and those are the two probably most common drugs in the United States or the world. Do you guys have any idea what I'm talking about?
Caffeine and marijuana. Those are going to be my guesses.
Nicotine, bro. Tobacco.
Tobacco.
I was thinking tobacco and mushrooms.
So you guys each had half of it. I feel an elevated mood with caffeine. I'll be honest. It does. I think that the tobacco is more. I think has more of a focus element to it, and the caffeine I think is a little bit more mood and energy. So I do use those.
Yeah, I mean, I say I use coffee medicinally.
Nice.
And how do you like your nicotine?
Well, honestly, the best way, if you're someone like myself who tends to take things to excess, is the best way to get the highest nicotine is chewing tobacco.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I've heard and
Well, do you actually chew it or do you keister it? What do you do?
I'm partial to Copenhagen long cut. It's quote the good stuff, and yeah, it does have a cognitive effect when I'm working, when I'm like really focusing on a project. So I'm not suggesting that for anybody.
Now, have you ever tried snuff? Snorting? It's called snuff, right? The snorting, tobacco.
Yeah, and people, in Europe in particular, people actually sniff snuff. Here, it seems like everybody I know that uses snuff puts it in their mouth. So.
Yeah, it's called. So I think snuff is technically the fine cut. So I guess technically I use snuff, but I don't put it in my nose. No.
And then I know there's college students that it's probably still a thing that would snort coffee. Right?
Oh my God.
Coffee grounds. Yeah, I've heard that works really well too. Adderall and coffee grounds is how you get through a doctorate. That's what I've heard.
I'm not even going down that road, but
you You guys know who the Yamamano are? The Yamamano Indians.
No, not by name at least.
These guys snort tobacco all day. I mean, like nonstop. They just have runny noses, just snot running out of their faces all day long. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, and there's this weird thing. It's like you would think that uh, snorting tobacco apparently doesn't cause a cancer, so smoking it or putting it in your mouth does, which is bizarre. So people don't get like nasal cancer, whereas people chewing on dip will frequently get gum issues and then eventually cancers, mouth cancers, tongue cancer, stuff like that. Just like
Yeah. The worst downside is the withdrawal, because when you're doing that high of a dose of nicotine, the withdrawal is noticeable.
Well, in the weird thing is we find out little by little, like things like nicotine, marijuana, and stuff like that. They actually directly affect mitochondrial function. So the mitochondria have receptors for a lot of these compounds, and then it alters their function, and then it also that we're finding out more and more, like mitochondria signal all kinds of things in the body. So it's like anything, any drug you take. I mean, caffeine, nicotine, they're all essentially drugs because they're all neurotoxins that have effects on not just the nervous system but energy production in the cell. So
Mm-hmm.
so using any of them daily or routinely is gonna affect energy production in the cells in some part of the body. So
Yeah.
Well, and let's. Oh, go. I was just going to bring up. Well, I mean, let's not forget that they're plants. And kind of
that's
like
it.
our big argument here is why plants be bad, right? And so, yes, even those plants
So
overall,
Justin,
I
you have
think.
to do the experiment and start snorting liver pills. See if it's
No,
different
I
in
want to.
animals.
I want to snort the adrenal pills. If I'm going to try any of the products again, the one I've had my eye on for a while is the adrenal, because that one's supposed to really kind of like, woo, give you a spin. So
Go for it.
that's the one I want to try. If I can get my hand on some adrenal, I'll eat some adrenal gland.
Can't you just mail order it?
The like an adrenal gland.
Desiccated adrenal glands.
Yes, you can order the.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Justin, is that your secret to how smart you are, that you've been taking desiccated adrenals this whole time?
No, that's how he's going to get to the next level.
That's how I'm going to get to the next
Oh.
level. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll buy that. When just tell me, send me the link once it's up, because I'm already in.
All right, there we
ADS
go.
is saying, asking if we've heard of James Patrick Kelly's Wildlife. The main character is a drug designer, and his big hit product is a neurotropic called Focus.
That sounds like that movie. What was that movie with Bradley?
Limitless.
Limitless. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
But yeah, as far as me, when we talk about these substances and all this kind of stuff, like to me, I have kind of like a chart in my head of harm. Like I see pretty much all allopathic, traditional pharmacological medicines as toxic, whether they be mental health medication, even something like antibiotics, those kind of steroids and things like that. I think all that stuff, in my opinion, does more damage than good. So like, and then I would say from there, you move on to like things like herbs, tinctures, oils, things of that nature. And then from there, maybe something like organ supplements. Oh, and coffee I would put as like an herb, right? Coffee, marijuana, stuff like that would be an herb. Illegal drugs would be in between pharmacological and the herbs, in my opinion, for most illegal drugs, because in my opinion, most illegal drugs are actually, well, as long as you have a reputable dealer, most illegal drugs are cleaner than pharmacological drugs, in my opinion.
Most?
Except for the ones with fentanyl in them.
Right, that's what I mean. A clean
Not sure
dealer.
about
That's the
most.
hard part. Well, I mean, so what do you think is more harmful, Adderall or just straight, cocaine?
I'd
Hey,
say
Martin.
Adderall's worse.
I mean, some clean cocaine, and you can get up and just going.
Did we say hi to Crystal yet?
No, hi, Crystal.
She
Hi,
liked
Marjorie.
your sundial joke.
Thank you.
She had at least one fan.
There you go. But so that's why I think it's like a cross. I mean, pure MDMA is not really harmful, nor is it really addictive. Some will argue with me about that one. Ketamine, I think, has been proven non-addictive, although there's not that many people that have done ketamine.
Really?
And I don't think there's that many. I don't know. A lot of people
they use ketamine for all kinds of therapies now too.
Yeah, so now it's moved into the therapeutic realm, so obviously safe. I mean, so the problem with street drugs is getting them from the street, not the drugs.
See, the government froze them again.
Yeah, not the drugs themselves typically,
Is it just me, Justin, or are your teeth getting whiter?
They're getting whiter. They are getting whiter.
That's not just Clorox. What are you doing?
Man, I'm brushing with charcoal toothpaste.
Justin, how often do you do that?
Ketamine?
No, the toothpaste.
Twice a day. Yeah, about twice a day.
With charcoal?
Yeah, it has like a charcoal in it. Yeah, it has charcoal.
Are you not worried about? I've heard that maybe it's not such a good idea to brush that often with charcoal. Like, keep it to maybe like once a week or something like that, because the tiny little bits in the charcoal are kind of taking your enamel off.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. How long have I been doing?
He's been in a situation where he needed to scrub those pearlies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He won't.
It
keep
works
that forever, but
it definitely works. Yeah. I wouldn't do it every day.
Yeah. I mean, probably when this next one's out, I'm probably just going to use salt or Dr. Bronner's if I can stand the taste again. That's a rough way to go. You can do it and it does work, but man, it does just taste like you're eating soap. It completely gets rid of the peppermint flavor from it.
Let's see. ADS brought up another movie called Lucy. I tried to say hello to Crystal a couple times.
I love Lucy. I love that movie.
And I haven't seen Lucy, I don't think. And then Transcendence, which sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
That's the one with Johnny Depp. I haven't seen Transcendence.
Hmm.
But I thought that one, Transcendence, he turns himself into a computer, or like kind of more like Lawnmower Man kind of situation.
Lawnmower Man, that's going way back. It's like way back from Indiana Jones territory. Can't believe you know what that is.
Hey man, I know Hellraiser. I know Lawnmower Man. We have such sights to show you. Should have done that for the Halloween episode.
Did you watch the new Hellraiser?
No, I haven't watched the new one yet. I still got to do that. I heard it's good though.
This is the carnivore version.
Aren't they all carnivore?
Do they discuss diet, or they just rip people apart and stick them full of needles?
It's good in the sense of it being horrifying and disgusting and degenerate. It's good in that way.
Well, yeah, as every Hellraiser movie should be.
That's
exactly
right.
Exactly.
Would you do coffee shots, aka bombs, before you watch that?
Coffee bombs?
Yeah. Would you get all caffeined up before you watch that?
I honestly only drink caffeine in the early morning. I don't ever have caffeine after 8 o'clock.
So what you're saying is the new Hellraiser's not a breakfast movie.
No, no, you shouldn't be eating any food, even if it's raw liver.
I did try to do 30 days of eating raw kidney, raw heart, and raw liver together. And I did it for about 3 weeks. Then I got kind of sick. So I don't know which of those three made me sick, but raw heart is delicious. Like I crave raw heart. Like it is.
Yeah, what is it about the flavor of heart? It is a little different. I give you that.
It's
You know,
extra meaty. I don't know. Beefy.
it's a little tougher usually, right?
Mhm.
It's all the heart you had been kind of tough.
Yeah,
It's a
even raw.
very
Yeah, it's
strong muscle.
definitely.
It's
Yeah,
not real
yeah,
thick, but it's really strong.
yeah.
And it does taste slightly different. So
I just don't. I mean, I feel like cooking it would ruin it.
Mm.
You know. But you liked it cooked, Tom?
you know the where I used to have it cooked was this I think it was a Peruvian restaurant, and they're not around anymore. So the last couple times I got heart was just whatever random heart they had at the halal butcher, which I think was usually sheep heart.
That makes sense.
Sometimes I find the beef hearts at like if I go to one of the big Mexican supermarkets. So, but I like heart as far as things go.
Yeah, heart
You
to
know,
me was delicious raw.
I've
Yeah.
I've never really gotten so much into the organs.
Do you,
I
I mean, and do we really even want to call heart an organ? I mean, it's an organ, but
Skin's an organ, muscles are also
it's pretty much
organs.
it's pretty a heart's pretty much all muscle, right? So it's like it's not that different than eating steak, right?
Well, it's an internal organ, right?
Right.
So it's still part of the organ system. How about that?
Crystal
I
says he's
just
still not into organs.
yeah, I used to watch Frankie a lot and saw kind of the disaster where it just seems like
Wait, did you watch Frankie on YouTube or the Triple X versions? What did you say?
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But Pagan
No.
was subscribed to the other stuff, just so people
No.
know.
He was on the fans
No.
only page.
No, I've never seen that, and I don't never want to. I kind of saw how the obsession with organs kind of has, I think it lends itself to orthorexia. Am I saying that right? Where
Yeah.
It's like you guys know what happened with Frankie. Like he completely turned, like did like a 180 on his previous diet.
Yeah. He eats like 400 grams of bread now.
Yeah, it didn't work. So I like my instincts were right on that one. Like because I feel so good with muscle meat.
Mm-hmm.
I never really needed or wanted to go into the organ meats lifestyle, and just like seeing guys like Frankie online that just completely failed doing that makes me nervous when it comes to.
Well, I think part of the problem with guys like Frank is like things weren't quite perfect, and he kind of just ran after whatever seemed like could be the next solution, and I don't think he had enough patience to just test things and see how they work out. He like committed up front, just went full bore. Margie says she's feeling ignored. How dare you, Margie? I said hi.
Yeah,
Maybe I
just
didn't
to
say hi loud enough. Margie.
just to be clear, Crystal, me, Tom, and obviously Pagan, all of us. It's not that we're anti-organ. It's just we don't run around saying they're necessary at all. The majority of my time on carnivore has been no organs, no interest in organs, and definitely do not eat liver jerky because that stuff tastes terrible. But dogs love it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit of organs for the animals, but I don't even sure if there's a case that animals necessarily need organs. I just think it
Well-
makes feeding your animal more economical.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
Anybody
We
who
give-
lives with a dog, just notice how much dogs love liver.
they do, and we've been feeding our dog liver. We got an entire beef liver. What was it? 6 months ago, and I cut it into like 14. Was it 14 1-pound bags? That's probably what it was, and put it in the freezer. And so we give her one of those bags probably once a week at this point.
damn,
And
a whole pound at a time.
that's what I was going to ask you guys. I'm
How
kind
big
of
is your
wondering
dog?
if we're feeding her too much liver.
How big is your dog?
80 pounds.
So my dog's like 35 pounds, and then I usually give her a dehydrated liver. Like I cut it in thin pieces, and then I have it as a treat, give her a piece of liver jerky, And sometimes, I get all the little pieces at the bottom, and I'll put that in with the rest of her food, and that's enough liver to give her liver gas. So I'm guessing that's too much. That's too much liver for me to give her.
So I'll dump the whole pound of liver into a little Tupperware, and she'll just devour it, just viciously, violently devour this liver, and there's no gas.
It could be too, because you're giving her wet liver meat, and I'm giving my dog dehydrated. But my dog's a lot smaller, probably a lot older. How old's your dog?
2.
Oh.
So you get
Really active.
Yeah, I've got a 17-year-old rat terrier.
Oh my, wow.
And she loves her liver, but I give her a little bit. She generally gets a little bit every day. It probably, when it was, probably before it was dehydrated, it was probably about an ounce or something like that. So, but I mean, if you don't notice any negative side effects, then I don't know, keep giving it to your dog, right?
You guys don't think 1 pound a week is too much?
I doubt it. You'd probably notice something negative, right?
I mean, how long have you been doing it, I suppose?
4 months.
I would imagine something would pop off by now. I mean, I don't know if for the rest of her life you should give her a pound of liver a week.
Well, I mean, how much? What portion of her diet would you say is there? How much more food does she eat in a day?
I'd say per week, like in a given week, the liver would be probably 10% of her diet.
Yeah, that's not that much. I mean, that's the thing. As I kind of look at it like, what would an animal self-select in the wild? You know what I mean? A dog given the opportunity to go eat that liver out of whatever it brought down every time, So.
Yeah, I mean, she loves it. That's the thing. It's hard for me to to not do it, because the dog loves it.
Mm-hmm.
And the big problem with humans and the liver thing is the vitamin A toxicity.
Yeah, I keep hearing rumors there's a bunch of people who got vitamin A poisoning or whatever, and I still haven't seen any actual evidence. So.
Well, Frankie got vitamin. That's what Frankie was saying. Is that it caused him liver problems because the vitamin A toxicity in the liver that he was eating.
But didn't he
Frankie's
take
organ meat?
Or take
yes, that yeah.
Whatchamacallit,
let's talk about that.
What do you call it? What's the prescription retinol they give people for skin? What the hell is it called? somebody knows. But it's hard on the liver. So high dose.
Margie, you should get a snake.
So basically, he screwed up his system by taking big pharma drugs and then amplified it with a diet that is like 50% organ meats.
Oh, yeah, ADS says Accutane.
Accutane.
Yeah, right in there.
Isn't Accutane the one that's for acne though?
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's pharmaceutical.
Right, but there's different forms of it though. Like
yeah,
Margie's saying
the
Trinoid.
topical one, and Accutane is the oral one.
Yeah.
So it's like he made the problem worse. Like he already had some type of liver damage and then maybe made it worse by eating liver more than organ meat or more than muscle meat. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it all.
Or maybe we need to be able to trace these incidents and ask them if they've ever taken Accutane.
Well,
because Accutane messes with a lot of different stuff.
I don't know if there's any point in trying to diagnose Frankie, because I don't think we all know what was wrong with it.
It's worth talking about it, Tom, because he was, quote, on the carnivore diet for 7 years, which we don't have a lot of public figures
all over the place. That's my point, So, and there's a lot of things he didn't talk about publicly. So,
okay.
Yeah. And he isn't the nicest person to interact with either.
It's not every day that you come across a public figure who is an ex-carnivore dieter who has, claims to have 7 years experience. Where veganism, you can find thousands of vegans online, ex-vegans that, were vegan for 5-10 years and are going to give you a testimony of how terrible it was, but you just can't do that with the carnivore diet. So I guess what I'm saying is I feel like it's worth examining those few examples we do have.
Yeah, and if you go through, I used to watch Frankie's content too. He had various complaints along the way, and then he would kind of go in one direction for a while, and then he'd be complaining about something else, and then and I suspected all along that he had medical conditions that he's also taking medication for, but it kind of presented as though this was all carnivore or organ meats or whatever. And he did talk about some of the other supplements and stuff he took, but I it seemed like such a mixed bag. It's like I didn't even feel like there was much point in trying to speculate what was really going on. So, I wish him the best. So I hope he gets it straightened out. So,
just for the record, the liver king, so to speak. I don't know. I've been seeing the argument that his diet was not carnivore. Kind of really just seemed like I don't know what kind of diet it was, at least in those papers. It wasn't even like a bodybuilding. It was high meat. He was eating a lot of meat.
A lot of meat and liver and testicles.
Yeah. But also quite a bit of bananas and I don't know, other stuff too. There was no vegetables, but there was sugar.
Well, we do know that the guy was a scammer. He was a liar. That's confirmed. So
I don't think he ever claimed to be on the carnivore diet, though, just in his credit. And me and Tom and a few other... He claimed to be on the carnivore diet?
Yeah. Well, he didn't say, oh, I'm a carnivore, but he was like, oh, yeah, I eat meat. I eat liver. I eat testicles. I eat steak. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of...
Publicly, he didn't talk about eating other stuff.
His whole gimmick was ancestral living and the 9 tenets of ancestral living, which is sunning your balls is the 4th tenet, and the 7th tenet is eating bull testicles, that type of thing. I think it's fair to say he was defrauding his audience, whether he actually specifically claimed that he was on the carnivore diet or not. Wouldn't you say that's kind of implied?
Yeah, certainly implied, but I think it's a tell for him to not come out and say, "Oh, I'm on the carnivore diet." Just saying.
Well,
That's
and,
all.
and the other thing is too is just pushing eating. He's selling essentially animal-based supplements, right? And he's pushing the idea of eating animals. Didn't necessarily say he was a carnivore. I don't know that it's really a tell that he didn't say, "Hey, I'm a carnivore." So he was definitely pushing the idea that we get the nutrients we need from eating animals and the whole animal because he's selling all the obscure parts in capsules. And see, Crystal brought up Dr. Paul Saladino or Dr. Salad
Salad
Dinosaur,
dinosaur.
as we like to call him, because I thought it was hilarious when he called himself that in a video. Yeah, so Saladino is kind of pushing the same supplements, and I don't know exactly at what level, but yeah, it's been noted that they had some sort of business arrangement. And again, Saladino said many times, "You got to eat nose to tail," and yet they don't sell any um,
Noses.
nose capsules or tail capsules. No, not a one. If they did, I would think that was hilarious, and I might even buy some just for
There we go. That's our market. We'll
comedy.
sell nose and tail.
Nose to tail,
Nose and tail.
nose, nose and tail
And tail
capsules. All
supplements.
right, get
Yeah.
your freeze dried desiccated nose capsules right here.
Yeah,
Right.
Heart and Soil. Yeah. That's the other site, which is just ancestral supplements wrapped in a different bottle so that Solid Dinosaur gets a cut for his honey and bread.
Right.
They did kind of have a similar like look and style to their what they were selling. The shirt off look, the super tanned, uh, upper body, muscled, screaming into the microphone.
Well, and then Paul Saladino never struck me as quite as bulky, muscular wise as Liver King. I mean, Liver King, there's certain features the guy like, particularly the shoulders and his abdomen. Look
Yeah,
sort of
his gut.
typical of guys who take a lot of steroids. So,
Yeah, so people who have done bodybuilding before can tell the most obvious sign. Well, I'd say there's two most obvious signs when you look at Liver King. The first would be his gut. He's got what they call like roid belly or roid
Now,
gut.
those aren't implants because I heard he had ab implants. I don't know. That's a rumor.
It could be ab implants. Like apparently that's an actual thing now, which I just learned. Like I can't believe how just every day we get further from God, guys.
I mean, if you're gonna put something that long and thick in your body, at least make it be a penis implant or enlarger or something. Just throwing that out there.
I thought like I figured that it's not ab implants, it's that he has really bad roid gut and it just like pushes so the HGH grows your internal organs, right? So is not it pushes your abs out. So they're kind of like your ab muscles are protruding.
yeah,
I
it's
think that's what's
very
happening.
common for bodybuilders to use, HGH or anabolics to get umbilical hernias. They actually get a tear in the muscle around near the belly button. That's a common injury. So,
And then the second sign is the like the hypervascularity. Have you seen in his arms like there's just veins popping out just like all over his arms and shoulders?
mhm.
That's also a telltale sign. So
And another thing I learned is that he's my height. He's 5'7", which is like, okay, no, like me at 260. Like what?
So since you're here, Pagan, why don't you tell us who you think as an example um, of somebody who looks like a normal, fit, non performance drug in using person. It was a good example. Somebody looks realistic and fit.
I think the best examples are probably pro athletes, right?
Well,
The ones
Depends on the profession. I don't know.
I think
Maybe we would
well,
want to say in this community, in this space, in the fitness space, maybe. I don't know. Narrow it at least a bit.
well, like I said, guys, I'm not really a big social media. I look up to Sean Baker.
Mhm.
As for just be like as someone who like what you can do just from diet.
Yeah,
And
I will personally go on a limb and say I do not believe that Sean Baker used any steroids or even hormone replacement or anything. I don't think he uses any peptides or any of that stuff. I
well,
think he's
look,
legit clean.
I spent I don't actually lift right now, but I spent 10 years as a heavy lifter.
Mhm.
And this was like in my younger years, so I was a little bit more of like a what's it called, like an ectomorph, like just naturally low body fat.
Mhm.
So I know what a body can look like when you have low body fat and just natural, or maybe not natural, but just muscle just from working out, and you can look good. And the way Sean looks is definitely achievable naturally. So that's what I'm saying is I admire Sean's physique because he has that look that I had when I was like 25, and he's in his like in his 50s or
50.
something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's like 54 now,
yeah,
55.
so that's someone who I would say is a great example.
I'm glad you brought it up because I think so too. And I don't know, Justin and I both have pictures floating around out there with Sean, and
Mhm.
the dude dwarfs me, so we'll get that out of the way. He's tall. He's very tall. Uh, if he dwarfs me, you know he dwarfs Justin. So I can't imagine what he looked like next to Liver King. But anyways, yeah, he is.
Maybe you could lift up Justin and put him on Sean's shoulders, and for Halloween, for next Halloween, and they could go as Master Blaster from
I guarantee you,
from Mad Max 2.
if I asked Sean, he would say no.
There's only
But
one way to find out.
it'd be hilarious to try. So maybe we'll just drop him on him.
Wait, are you
Surprise.
tossing me? Like midget tossing me to
I'm just
Sean?
gonna dangle you off a roof or something, and then when he walks in there, just slip on there. But yeah, so Sean is very tall, got very long arms and legs, and he's very fat. But of course, he's been one type of competitive athlete or another like his whole life too. So he's ahead of most people as far as just staying in shape, even though he was quite a bit heavier when he was doing powerlifting, you know. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, I think he's a great example, and for me, he's a good example because I truly believe the guy is natural. You know, I don't think he really did anything but try and eat the right food, and you know, a
I
big
mean,
part of the story was finding a better diet, right?
yeah, the thing is, Tom, like the carnivore community, so to speak, isn't big enough to where we just don't have a lot of examples of hardcore weightlifters who are also carnivore. There's not that many examples.
Well, and I don't know exactly like if you take Mark Bell, you look at Mark Bell, he doesn't there's nothing about that guy that looks exaggerated. He's lean, he's very
But the
muscular.
thing is, he doesn't even count because he's done steroids.
Right, he has,
So
but he doesn't look, you know, he's a good comparison to some of
he's
the other.
automatically disqualified.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's still a good comparison as far as what looks ridiculous and unlikely to to be natural, right? Because I don't think he continued to do them. So if you look at what he looks like now and you compare him to Liver King, you know, he just looks like a guy who lifts every day. So
You know, I got to bring this up since we're talking about this guy. I was talking with my wife earlier, and I said, you know what? These guys who go overboard with the PEDs to get this exaggerated, this like very swole look, this over the top muscled look. Um, you guys probably already know this, but that's not normal to, you know, to think that, to ever want to spend, you know, 13,000 a month on drugs that make you look like a an elephant, to the point where you can't wipe your own butt and stuff like that. And so what I told her is that just on the surface, I look at this guy and I think low self-esteem. There's some type of body image mental disorder going on, because I'm a fitness guy and I would never want to be that big. Like, I love being big, I love being muscular, I love being strong, but to be that exaggeratedly, like, cartoonishly big, I just I would never have any interest in that. And I think that you'd have to have some type of mental disorder to actually want that. Well, lo and behold,
and the risks, right? Because
I-
I mean, he was taking a lot of stuff and some massive.
Hey, he was
doses,
working
right?
with a professional.
how old was Rich Piana when he died?
I couldn't tell you.
38, 40, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, this is serious stuff this guy is doing.
Mhm.
So, anyways, lo and behold, like an hour later, I'm looking at some articles on the internet, and it turns out the guy says, like, he admitted in his quote apology video that he in fact does have a low self-esteem. So I guess I just kind of wanted to throw that in there.
Well, you
So-
know, when you talk to a lot of people that are into bodybuilding in particular, as opposed to, let's say, a weight training, you find out that a lot of them, you know, are that way, that they're very sensitive. They're very they are very insecure about their appearance and stuff, and that drives a lot of people in bodybuilding. I mean, just go talk to them. Most of them will tell you right away. It's like, yeah, I was teased when I was a kid. I never feel like, you know, I'm lean enough, and never feel like my muscles are big enough, you know. And there's a lot of that. So
Yep.
Well, I mean, a lot of them have some form or another of a. I think it's I'm going to call it unregistered, just because I can't think of a better term at the moment, but kind of um, body dysmorphic disorder. You know.
yeah, no, it does seem like body dysmorphic disorder, because I was talking to guys who like, I was like, God damn, that guy looks amazing. I wonder how he. And then he was like, oh yeah, but like, you know, this isn't right, that's not right. My biceps aren't big enough. I'm like, you can barely get them in and out of your shirt. That's it, they're big enough.
There's actually a really good documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Killer Mary or Killer somebody. It's about a bodybuilding couple.
Killer Sally?
Killer Sally, that's it. Yeah. I haven't finished it yet.
I watched it.
Yeah, but that's really good and dips into all this. And another thing too is the painkillers from working out so much. In my opinion, I think the painkillers might be taking more of these guys out than the steroids and other stuff. But I don't know. You probably know better, Pagan, but you know, because they're taking
Margie made a good point too, that there's a fair number of narcissists in the bodybuilding world. So
I'll just say this, Justin. Something I have noticed just in life in general is when someone becomes open to using drugs, legally, illegal, over the counter, whatever, when a person becomes open to that and opens that door, it kind of opens a door to like all drugs. So Rich
Oh, yeah.
Piana, when Rich Piana died, it wasn't just the, you know, the truckload of steroids he was using. He also had cocaine in his system.
Right.
And I've noticed that just in general, when people open that door, it's like, well, you know, is if I inject this this painkiller, it's gonna, my back is killing me from this, these workouts I've been doing all week long, and there maybe that person is more open to injecting, something else to kill the pain or something. Like it's a bad door to open.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I was a poly user for many years, so I mean, I opened that door. I went to that door. You know what I mean? Not from bodybuilding, but other ways. And yeah, no, there are gateways. And yeah, in the beginning, you go to places that you want to be, and at the end, you have to go to places that you don't want to be. Things just keep getting shadier and shadier.
I mean, these bodybuilders, a lot of them use recreational drugs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them use hardcore recreational drugs, and pills, you name it.
Oh yeah.
It's like it gets pretty dark. The further down you go, the darker it gets.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, that also takes a toll psychologically, and gets to a point where even if they wanted to stop, how do they stop? How do you come off all that stuff, and deal with whatever?
And if you're Liver King and you're already, I don't know, maybe you're insecure about your appearance. I think we saw some pictures of him when he was younger, and he was kind of,
Well, naturally, he should be a small dude. I mean, I'm a small dude, and I just have to live with the fact that.
Yeah, and he didn't want to be a small dude or whatever. And then
I just have to live with the fact that every once in a while I'm at the grocery store, I may have to ask someone else to reach something for me from the top shelf.
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine you got that sort of complex going on, that you're small and you want to be big. And then you come out with this tremendous business plan. You're like, all right, all I got to do is, create this persona, take a bunch of crazy drugs, eat a bunch of raw liver and testicles in front of everybody, and then I can be wealthy and have that body I always dreamed of. Right? That's pretty alluring.
Well, a man would much rather take a bunch of drugs, PEDs, whatever, eat liver, testicles, what have you, rather than go to therapy. That's what this proves.
Another thing is that this guy was making a killing by selling this persona.
And money's also a drug. Money's addictive. Fame's addictive too. So
yeah.
The whole nine.
So he got, quote, exposed, but it's not like he has to give any money back.
No. He's
still rich. I feel at the end of the day that Liver King won.
Oh yeah, the majority of people are still going to buy his stuff. He's still going to.
Even if he never sells another supplement, he already won. The scam was pulled.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, maybe he does have a bit of a coke habit, so maybe I'm not claiming that, by the way, but that'll make the cash go.
Send all your hate mail to Justin.
I mean, come on. When you've got that much cash, you got to tell me. He lives in a compound. Come on now, compounds.
Doesn't he have two places?
Compounds just rich tweaker talk. That's all that is for
rich
tweaker house.
It's funny because maybe it's just me, or maybe it's all three of us that maybe agree with the image that he's selling about going back to the ancestral knowledge to as an anecdote to depression and anxiety, I actually agree with that. That's the thing.
I kind of I see the allure of that message, but people seem to be all over the place about exactly what that is. So I'm kind of skeptical.
I mean, we can go there if you want to go there, but
go outside, touch grass, eat,
touch grass, have a community, make babies, eat meat.
Did anybody see my hilarious joke about the price of eggs?
I did.
It was in Zach Solt's thing. They were like, how do you flirt when talking about the price of eggs? I thought it was freaking genius. I'll have to send it out to everybody.
But yeah, I mean, there's some good ideas there. Look, people are complex. Who knows who could be his wife pulling the strings? Like, hey, baby, I want that new whatever. Let's do this or something.
Yeah, ADS is saying that Brian Johnson, aka Liver King, is not rich. Net worth $1 million, annual income $250K.
See, he can't even afford Coke. He's straight tweaker. He's just got two tweaker compounds is what he's got.
What are you saying? He can only afford trucker speed?
Yeah, trucker speed. There you go.
Wow.
But I mean, no, there's no one that's truly all good or all bad and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, his messaging overall was good. He was outlandish. I mean, if any of us had a chance to transform and do something like that once in a lifetime, it's hard to say you wouldn't take it. It's kind of like, if you actually have the chance to do something like that, would you do it? And
yeah, I mean,
all of us like to think we're strong enough and we can hold up against temptation and we're moral enough and we have our principles to not do it. But when you're actually in the position to do something like that, hard
Justin,
to say.
Let's play this out. I'm not rich by any means. I'm middle class. If I had the opportunity to sell an image where I'm telling a bunch of people on the internet that I got an amazing body by taking a miracle drug, and if I did that, I'd get rich, and if I didn't do that, I'd stay middle class how I am now. Would I do it? I don't think I would. Well, why would I? I mean, what's there to gain? I don't have any self-esteem issues. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it does come from a deeper part. I just always like to play the devil advocates game.
I see the temptation, man.
Yeah, the temptation. And then the majority of people would take it. And so
I'm not sure I agree.
That could be an off-air conversation or a different kind of conversation.
We don't have to agree.
Yeah, that's really cool. My one rebuttal to that would be, we just went through the modern pestilence, and a lot of people, I think, would go with temptation with an easy out. If society tells them, hey, this is what you do to be a good person. This is how you be a hero. Because everyone wants to be the hero in the story.
I see what you're saying, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think what we decided we should do is we need to invent a new Liver King with a new product.
Nose and tail. We already have the product, nose and tail.
Well, but I think there needs to be a longer gap of time between when you guys expose him and the ability to make a bunch of money selling nose and tail capsules. I think that's what we do. We sell. I got this huge eating nose to tail. You can buy it. Buy my supplements.
And he snorts an entire gallon of coffee grounds every morning.
Okay, look, speaking of tail, what are your guys' opinion on actually eating hog balls? Does that increase testosterone? I legit want to know.
I
Like
don't know.
specifically hog balls?
Yes.
I don't know if there's any studies on that, but that's where I would start. I mean, I'd just go to PubMed and Class 1 or whatever, and just start seeing if there's any actual evidence for that.
Because I saw a video on TikTok. Someone reposted it on Telegram that apparently I learned this. I didn't know this before, but from what I understand now, you're not Southern if you've never had hog balls. Did you guys know that?
It sounds like something. I mean, I moved from well, I mean, Southern California is at the South. But I mean,
no, I don't think that's what he meant.
Southern California is the only part of the South that'll never be allowed to be part of the South.
But I moved to technically what's known as the South, and I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Are you seeing hog balls at the barbecue?
No, I have not seen hog balls at the barbecue. I also feel like, you also have to go cat fisting too. I feel like that's even more to be part of the South. You have to go cat fisting, noodling as we call it.
Stranded 360 disclaimer: raw egg is supposed to be like steroids. I don't know how true it is, but I've heard this. Well, Justin, you've had your fair share of raw eggs. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think I've eaten enough. I mean, we still have to do what was it, 24 or 30?
It's 36
raw eggs eggs a day.
I'll throw in my 2 cents. Yeah, it's 36 raw eggs a day is the equivalent of 1 cycle of testosterone, steroids.
So is there any numbers or studies to back this up? I mean, are they calculating the quantity of certain chemical, or hormone?
Tom, if I wanted studies, I'd be talking to Vegan Gains right now.
Does he chug raw eggs? Just say.
Well, we did do a video on how doing 36 raw eggs a day healed people from severe burns.
Yeah, they were feeding it to people who are recovering from burns. Yeah.
And also, fun fact,
fantastic results. Yeah.
Fun fact, it's traditional folk wisdom in Mexico that boxers all chug raw eggs every morning. All boxers do. So take that for what it's worth.
I think I'm going to chug some raw eggs before bed. Is that not recommended? Because I'm hungry, but I'm also very lazy.
I cook 2 dozen eggs a day, and now I'm out of raw eggs, so I will have to go to the store. But yeah, you want to do that? What's the most raw egg you've had in a day, Justin?
I mean, I'm not really. I mean, my standard is 3. I've probably had I've probably had a dozen in a day at one point. Probably did 6 and 6 one day.
Are we going to do an experiment? Maybe Pagan and Stranded 360 wants to join in. Maybe ADS will do it. He's a Luke fan.
I don't like the egg whites, the raw egg whites. I've never actually done it where, like, how you can separate the yolk.
Oh yeah,
when they're
way
raw.
Too lazy to do that. Yeah,
I'm wondering if I should try that. Is separating the yolks and then just chugging raw egg yolks without the whites.
Sure, if you want.
Plenty of fats and vitamins. I mean, here's the thing with just to tie everything kind of together. If you do have vitamin deficiencies, I would say now I know there's people that are allergic to egg and struggle with egg and things like that. So if you do have those issues, obviously don't do this. But if you do have some kind of vitamin deficiency, I would go straight to eggs, duck eggs if you have to, and there's many different kind of animal eggs too. You can get duck, turkey, chicken, of course. alligator. Isn't there some place you get alligator eggs? I feel like I learned that from
Alligator eggs.
somewhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, Justin, how about at the barbecue? Are you seeing an alligator on the grill?
There's a bit
lately?
of alligator. Yeah, there's a bit of alligator out here for sure. You got some gator. You can get some gator.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Well, all right. So see how many raw eggs we can get to in a day. I found it easiest just to I used a hand mixer, one of those immersion mixers, to just to stir it up, break up the yolk and the white, so it's just less messy to drink. Because I'd be drinking raw eggs and I'd have like shit hanging in my beard and stuff. I was like, wait a minute, I got these whiskers that are like glued out, like look like they got epoxy in them or something.
Having something about Mary moment.
I'm getting the same issue now because my beard is longer now. It's like I got like probably the same length as you, Tom, but a full cheeks and everything. And so yeah, it's just one of those things. Once the beard hits a certain length, you got to go to the bathroom after every meal.
That
or else it's just something about Mary moment.
Well, so when I hit the eggs with the blender thing, the immersion mixer, it's nice and smooth. It's easy to drink, So
hack. There you go, carnivore hack right there.
It's just I don't know, because you know how it is when you're like, well, and a lot of times I take it in the car, so I've got like one of those stainless coffee mugs or a blender bottle, and then it's like once you blend it, like it all like comes out of the cup, whereas if you leave it whole and unmixed, then a lot of the stuff sticks in there. So then when I get home at the end of the day, that stuff's all dried in there, and so it's just a whole nother. It's more time cleaning crap, which drives me crazy.
Hey guys, while I'm here, Justin, I'm your biggest fan. You know that, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a couple questions. Do you mind if I ask you a couple like somewhat personal questions as your biggest fan?
No problem. The hot seat. Yes, that's fine.
Hot seat, yeah.
Hot seat.
Okay. Are you Mexican or Asian?
I'm ethnically androgynous. That's fun. Well, the fun thing about that is that, during the time there were many people that were trying to get from Asia to the Americas, and they messed up and actually landed in Mexico. So Mexicans, some truly native Mexicans can actually trace their lineage back.
I know that. Yeah. Yes, I do know that.
You kind of just asked me if I was the same thing. So anyway, but no, tradition through speaking.
I meant Filipino, to be specific. I actually was talking about Filipinos.
Ooh, now I take offense to that because that's wow, we're really gonna get banned. But that's that's the dirty underclass Asians, man.
Oh no.
We weren't gonna get banned until you said that.
When you guys say we, you're talking about me.
So. No, I absolutely love Filipinos. That's a joke. That's all.
Did you answer the question?
Now my Chinese fiance, I have to get her opinion after this, but we'll
see.
Can I just say that he's half Mexican, half freaking German? All right,
and there's some Native American in there too. So
okay, good enough. Mm-hmm. Second question is, I've noticed over the years your hairstyle is somewhat changed. Is there a change of pronouns that has gone with the change in hairstyle?
Oh, you're spoiling. I am working on my transition.
Did I say too much too fast?
I'm getting my script for what is it called, hormone replacement therapy, next month. Actually, it's a New Year's gift to myself. So
Well,
there you go.
just so you know,
I will go by Diana, just so
okay,
everyone knows.
it's not Justine.
It's not. No, that's dead naming. All right. If you say Justine, that's dead naming. Okay.
Well, I just want to let you know, Justin.
It
I'm a
won't get you banned on
respecter.
Twitter anymore.
I'm a respecter of all pronouns. So whatever you tell me, I have full intention of respecting your existence.
ADS says he's 1/16th. The Filipino says he's 1/16th offended. Well,
the whole hairstyle thing.
Pagan, I'm not sure you know this, but I like to refer to Justin as the best little sister I ever had.
Okay. Like I said, Justin, I'm a respecter of all pronouns.
He's just not as, he comes, he's a millennial. It's just not as macho as the older generation. That's all it really is. The only reason why he has painted fingernails because his girlfriend wanted to paint them.
Yeah, that is why. Not to say I wouldn't do it myself. It's just I'm too lazy, pretty much.
That's he's mostly just lazy. So
yeah,
the easiest thing to do is just let his hair grow. I mean, why keep going and getting it cut?
Right, exactly. There you go. No, I had long hair in high school. I couldn't find a bar, $20 for a haircut every 6 weeks. I hate hair gel and all that stuff. I feel like I look better with long hair, just my personal opinion. Other people disagree. I don't know why or how, but yeah, I've had long hair before. It felt like it was time to go back to having it long.
Okay.
I prefer it long. So yeah, that's all it is.
Last question. I'm trying to get my
two. Just kidding.
Last question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get my wife to watch anime. What's the first anime that I should force her to watch?
Death Note. I'd say Death Note.
Done and done. Everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you next time.
Take care. Have a great time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What the hell? Anime? Come on, man.
Anime?
Do we have to go that low?
Hey, that's high class. That's high class entertainment. I should have said Chainsaw Man. That's funny.
Margie wants to know why everybody's picking on you.
Thank you, Margie.
He loves the attention. That's why.
I do.
ADS.
Ooh, Death Note is overplayed. What do you mean it's overplayed? Hold on. Stranded 360. You got to come on here and defend that statement at some point. What you mean by overplayed? It's a great mystery. It's not too violent. It's a great introductory anime.
What the hell are we talking about again?
Death Note, the anime Death Note. Because Stranded 360 said Death. Yeah, well, because it's so different and it only works as an anime. They tried to do a live adaptation. It was terrible. My other pick would be Full Metal Alchemist. Okay, what would be your recommendation, Stranded? I mean, I'm a classic, so Full Metal Alchemist would be a good one for me too. Evangelion's my personal absolute favorite. Unless you want to go something like
people are talking about,
like Madoka Magica, I don't know. It kind of depends on what kind of other stuff.
Japanese cartoon I used to watch. I was on TV when I got home from school.
Speed Racer, Voltron.
So one where they're on the battleship Amato, but it was a spaceship now. Star Blazers, I don't know, something like that.
Maybe. I think, oh man, I need to ask my fiance because she was talking about a show called Star Blazer because she's a bit older than me. And I was like, you need to ask Tom, not me. I think that was,
I can't remember exactly what it was called. And I didn't even really, it was like, it didn't come on like in the right sequence. I didn't know what it was, but it was kind of.
Good night, Margie. We know it's late for you. One Piece. No, sorry. I can't. 6,000 episodes. No, thank you. Can't do it. Sorry.
What are we talking about now?
Stranded 360. One Piece. So One Piece is at like episode 5,000 or something crazy ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, no, that's too much of a commitment. My favorite animes are between 20 and 30 episodes, pretty much.
Space Battleship Yamato,
Mm.
1974 TV series. Yeah, so I was probably watching, I think probably like in the 80s or whatever. So it's probably like a replay or something.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little bit of good old BattleTech. And what was that? Robotech. That's what I'm thinking of.
Robotech.
BattleTech's different. Sorry. Robotech. And for us 90s kids, Reboot. There you go. Anyone that remembers Reboot? There you go. All right, we should probably wrap it up because we are. Hey, we stayed on topic. We stayed on topic
really
better
got
than
an example of realistic body types.
We did, Sean.
Well, we got Sean. I thought we'd do more, but maybe next time, because I'm sure we're not done beating this dead horse. Oh no!
Yeah,
Please don't. Please don't. Ah, that was an appetite killer. All right. Well, thanks everybody. It was good. It was good.
Great to see everyone. Lots of fun.
It was a nice surprise having Pagan on. So, anyways, sorry to everybody we offended out there. Just send your hate mail over to Justin.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
Yeah,
because he has no filter. Because he's, I forget what that condition is called, but he's got
autism.
The Tism Plus.
The Tism Plus. Yeah, there you go.
All right, everybody, eat some meat, feel better.
Feel better, and whatever you do, don't fall down the organ hole.
Organ hole.